Hello, hello. Welcome back. Day Drinking with David. We have a very exciting show. Today, the wonderful Melate Mezcals are here. And a little something special at the end. It's been a beautiful week here, cool and sunny. And I guess it's raining in San Francisco. Sorry, Giants fans. I know that was a tough finish there. It looked over the plate to me, but whatever. Anyway, it should have just kept going. Flores would have obviously struck out. But that's beside the point. We're back. And yeah, it's Mezcal Day. I think it's technically National Nacho Day. Is that a thing? I don't know why that's a thing, but that's not why I'm drinking Mezcal. But, we've got 6 exceptional, super rare, artisanally produced, some ancestral produced agave spirits here. They're all classified as agave spirits. No certified mezcal here. I don't know if you know about this. Can you hear me now, guys? Whenever a call comes through, it's always a disaster. I hope you can still hear me. Anyway, so this exceptional brand comes in this wonderful package. One of the coolest things they do is this exquisite gift set. They call it the signature box. It's, easily the most, I think, well-crafted of any of these sorts of boxes. Not only do you get this, these beautiful mezcals, but, this wonderful package, but inside you're seeing the distillers themselves etched right into the wood. 3 bottles of mezcal, multiple sort of types of things to drink out of, beautiful artisanally produced figurines, copitas, and an actual piece of art, which is, pretty badass, really. One of 200, a print of 200, and I think he was saying that actually we were the only ones getting these. We only bought 30. He did a small line, and the rest of these are not going to be included in the signature boxes. So this is, for anybody who drinks mezcal, probably the coolest gift you could get them, period. And even better, the dang stuff tastes great. So that's obviously the key. When it comes to mezcal, you can have the prettiest box in the world, but if it doesn't taste amazing, what's the point? Because this isn't inexpensive, and it shouldn't be inexpensive. It's extremely difficult to produce something like this. Both the package itself and the mezcal as well. So yeah, do consider that for anybody who, is looking for a high-end mezcal gift. I don't think there's a better thing out there right now. But that's beside the point. We're going to start with, let's see. I've got 2 Papiamentals. I've got a Esparine from 1999. I think I'm going to hold off on that one. I have the Quiche from Herman Manso Martinez and the Sacatoro from Guerrero. So I think I'm going to actually start with the Pulquero, which is probably the terrible place to start because it's going to be intense. But this is an interesting agave. This is distilled in Santiago Matatlan, which is really the heart of Oaxacan production. It's the village, maybe like 45 plus minutes outside of the city, where a significant portion of the distillation production is being made, just past the turnoff to Tlacolula. A little further than that. The price jump on El Tesoro is infuriating. I agree with that, Chuck, although I will say that it was probably underpriced. It was probably underpriced beforehand, considering what all the junk tequilas are charging. And, yes, of course, I wish it were still $35. And for the Blanco, and you know, the one that really hurt was the Extra Añejo, which was such a killer value. But and now it's more than double, I think. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's tough. There's a lot of there's very little great tequila under $50 right now. But I think $50 is a pretty fair price to pay considering what goes into those bottles, and that, you know, because they were you know, it's the cyclical nature of that plant and the industry. You know, they were undervalued for a long time. So anyway, back to Mezcal. This is Mazatlan. Pulquero is an Americana, a varietal that is quite large, used typically for the creation of pulque, which is a traditional beverage in Mexico. They cut out the Quixote, they scrape the base of the plant where the Quixote had been, and the agave sap, really, or honey, I believe they call it, maybe, kind of bleeds out, and that is fermented, and the drink is made, you know, pretty naturally right there. Sometimes it's flavored. You can get it in bars in Oaxaca with all sorts of different flavors. And so this is a 15, 16-year-old plant that is pressed on a Tohona. It's roasted for 4 days underground, of course. Fermentations, it's let rest for a day, and then fermentation is relatively quick, 3 days. Not in terms of, you know, that's normal fermentation times, but, you know, there are producers who ferment for 3 weeks or more sometimes. And about 600 liters produced in July, so quite fresh, this stuff. Double distilled copper pot stills. Oh, the nose is filled with floral and vegetal aromas. Not really peppery, it's more like green squash and I guess not. I don't know what's happening because nobody's... Sound is back. Okay. My iPhone is killing me, guys. I don't know what the hell is the problem here. Every time we do this, something's changed. I have not changed anything in terms of what we do here, but if anybody has any ideas why that might be happening, every time I turn on the do not disturb, something wrong with my phone. Maybe I need to update. Anyway, that was horrible. We're back. We're trying Melate. This is the Pulquero. It's a very slow-growing plant, usually used to produce pulque. The nose is very green, slightly vegetal. Beautiful minerality on it. KNL has no AV budget, but thank you for mentioning that. It's the wrong person got the bottle of Handy, and the whiskey gods are mad. I'm almost certain there's only one whiskey god. Anyway, Felix Hernandez Ruiz is doing great stuff in Mazatlan. This Melate brand is really interesting. They've been doing direct sales for a long time, so we're the first real retailer in California to be featuring them. A lot of these batches will only be available here. The one whiskey got... very classic in style. Lots of mineral, lots of spice, some citrus character. I really, really like that. Not too smoky, medium smoke, good sort of backbone mesquite kind of character. Try the speed test to verify the connection quality. We have we have very high connection. It's not that for the sound. It's this going back and forth between Do Not Disturb and the AirPods, and something's going on there. I'll have to dive deeper, but I just don't have the time to think about it. I just won't use Do Not Disturb anymore, and then we'll just have people calling me all day long, because you cannot do Instagram videos if you're not on your phone. So voila. But moving on, this is Germán Manso Martinez, a quiche from Melate, distilled in Zoquitlan. Zoquitlan is an area around the city of Zoqui that is to the southeast of Oaxaca City, sort of south of like the San Juan del Rio and that San Luis del Rio. Quite remote. They've just built a road to the second half of the way. You should use an iPad for the event. That's true. That's a good idea. I'll use my kid's iPad. And the area is, pretty abundant Karwinski in this area. We're seeing some producers from Zoqui, from El Jorgorio, and they do some great stuff. There you see some tepestate up there as well. They were telling me when I was there that they used to have a lot of tepestate, but there's not much left. And then if you go further up the mountain, you get to Candelaria Yegolé, where you have Rey Campero and Vago. The Karwinski grows quite nicely up there as well. These are all for sale on the website, Melate, Melate. Someone's asking if these spirits will be listed after this live. They're really wonderful selections from a small group of Mezcal, basically lovers, nerds, who've been bottling and bringing it up. So Zoqui, the plants here, it's Karwinski, the quiche varietal, which is 13 to 15 years old. It's roasted for 5 days underground, quite a long roast. Crushed on Tahona, and then, thank you, someone just put the link in there to this product. Thank you, appreciate that. And then fermented in pine vats for 11 days. For natural, meaning no water added, just the agave sitting there, and then adding well water, and then another 7 days, double distilled on copper pots in August of 2020, so a little longer in bottle than the last one. Quiche from this area, it's very highly prized. It's relatively low proof, only 90 proof, which obviously where the distiller likes it, that's how these work. Oh, very, very classic. Crazy minerality to it. Has this very unique quiche-ness. What is it? Zoquitlan. Sochi? Well, my friend here says it's Zochitlan. When I was there, they were saying Zoquitlan, but whatever. Anyway, onward. Pronunciation is important. And I strive to do it properly, but we can't always get it right. So this has that very classic quiche nose. Very, very typical in this aroma. Just crushed rock and minerality. Has a greenness, almost like a grassy note. Kind of reminds me of what's the word for that? Like almost like Epsom salts or something like that. And behind that, some fruit, some papaya, some citrus. Okay. Wow, big spice on the palate. Almost like exotic, almost into like the sandalwood flavors. This is a really, really interesting, very exotic and savory character on the palate. That's the Malate Quiche from your mom, Manzo Martinez. You know, these are we get teeny amounts of this. They're half bottles. They're not inexpensive, but it's a really fun way to try a bunch of different stuff without having to commit to a $200 bottle. Oh my, that's really, really good. So I really like that. Bold, spicy, minerally. Quiche drinks really easy with that 90 proof. Huge fan of that. And then we're going to do our final, I'm going to keep the Espadine for the end because it's quite high proof. We're going to go into the Papalometal. This is Jose Uribel Mota Martinez. This is in Zapotitlan, Lagunas. Here we're talking Papalometal, and the agave is typical for. Sorry, this is hard to get open. For the area to the northwest of Oaxaca City. Love some quiche, right? This guy knows. This is the Mixteca, I believe. I believe it's on the Oaxacan side. So culturally distinct from, the rest of Oaxaca, which is not culturally distinct in itself, by any means. There are a number of different cultural traditions, languages, and what have you. But Mixteca, which encompasses that sort of northern corner of Oaxaca and several other neighboring states, has a very distinct cultural character. And this is 3 to 5 days underground, crushed on gas-powered mills. Wooden vats is pinacote, with 2 days 2 days after roast standing before 10-day fermentation. So quite a long fermentation here. And that is then double distilled on copper pot stills. You can see the signature of the distiller, which I love. That's such a unique thing. You kind of see they all have that beautiful sort of circular thing, which I love. So stylized and unique. Wonder if that's a Oaxacan thing or what, or just a Mexican thing, or I don't know. Get it on all of them. There's a little of that. I'm gonna start doing that. Very cool. Anyway, let's have a taste. Papalometal is, tropical. Just pure tropical fruit here. Overripe mango, passion fruit, papaya. It's very, very fruity. A little bit more lactic than the last three we've tasted. Got a very unique character here. Spitting that out. Wonderful acidity. Big, bold, cinnamony spice. Some more minerality on the palate than on the nose. Kind of tastes like the quiche smells. Very, very cool. This is, a tiny little batch. Oh, actually not that small. This is 800 liters. Massive for these guys. But we only got like 90 bottles. Beautiful nose. Now like kind of going into like that banana. Some dark pepper behind that. I'm honestly surprised that we were able to get this brand so well put together, so well thought out. The prices are really, really good for what they are. And yeah, I couldn't believe that none of the national importers had been able to lock these guys up. You know, they did have their own sort of distro line, so, you know, you can buy it from their website, of course, and have it shipped. Although I'm not sure how that's allowed, but whatever. I'm not asking questions about that. Don't want to blow up their spot. But obviously, if you're in California, it's more affordable and more, less shipping costs and what have you to buy from K&L. The labels are great. Bourbon Bites, you've noticed. Yeah, they've really, clean labels, lots of info on the back. This is the second Papalo Metal we're trying from Tamalac in Guerrero. Also, oh, no, that's the wrong one. We're going to do the Papalo Metal here. That's the David Rivera Herrera. This is in Santa Maria, Ixatlan. 8 to 9 year old Papalo Metal, 4-day fermentation, 4 days roasting, wooden clubs to crush the agave. So all hand done, and then fermented in cowhide. This is a traditional fermentation vat. This is the one that's a tiny batch. This is 60 liters that was produced exclusively for us. And we took it all. That's one tinea, one hide worth of agave, and that was distilled in July of 2021. So relatively recently. Let's try this out. Double distilled on clay pot. So this is ancestral, spring water, 6 days fermented directly in with the water. So no pre-game there. Dumb question. No such thing as a dumb question. How can it be 9 years old if it's clear? Oh, it's the... Chris, that's not a dumb question. That's totally relevant. It's the age of the agave. So this is not 9 years old. The plant takes 9 years to mature. The cycle of the agave plant is pretty unique. Flowers once in its lifetime. Its entire being is devoted to this one moment. And in the production of mezcal, generally, what you do is, because you're trying to get the most sugar out of the plant to ferment it and make alcohol, you're waiting till right as it's flowering, and then you lop off the flower so that the plant, instead of putting all of that energy, the sugar into, sugar is energy, into the flower, which would sprout and attract the animals to spread their pollen, what have you, then the plant will then concentrate the sugars in the piña, in the heart of the plant. So that's what's going on. Sometimes you'll see, people using the flower as well, the capon, or the Quixote in the fermentation and what have you. So there are a lot of different ways to do this. Oh, this is nuts. Oh my God. This is absolutely bonkers. It's not as savory as some of the other cowhide ones. Like some of them you're like, oh, it's like drinking leather. Here we have incredible citrus. There's definitely some of that savory character, but it's not brothy or like, meat too beefy. Gorgeous. Gorgeous citrus. Slight kind of chili pepper nose. A bit of salinity and briny character. Now it's become quite pungent in the palate. Lots of bold spice as it travels through the palate. Good fruit up front. Great sweetness. Great balance. I wonder what this is at 47. Just 6 completely different mezcals at complete and all delicious in their own right. Fabulous stuff. We also have, which is really interesting, a Bachuga Tasting Set. I didn't get those out. I should have. Which comes with like 11 little 50 mLs of Bachuga, different styles, different regions, some of the same distillers, others not so much. Is there a preferred type of barrel used to age mezcal? So that is an interesting question. Generally, we don't see much aged mezcal. There isn't a huge tradition of that. What we do see is glass matured, which we're going to taste in a little bit. So they'll mature in inert tanks. So part of the reason that, while there is a tradition, obviously, of aging mezcal, certainly in tequila, in Oaxaca, that's less common. And because agave spirits are one of the only spirits that you can distill and drink off the still and have it be superlatively delicious, like overtly incredible, aging it in barrel is less important. If you've ever had bourbon right off the still, or bourbon spirit, or single malt spirit, it can be interesting, but it isn't whole in the way that agave spirit can be. So oftentimes aging some of these spirits that are exquisite in their own right, just right off the still, adding those flavors like oak and concentrating through evaporation aren't necessarily improving the spirit. And that's probably not why people don't age down there. Sometimes they do. There are certainly lots of aged mezcals. Generally, what you'd see is ex-bourbon. That's the most typical, because those are the most available. But we've only got a tiny, tiny fraction of the mezcal we sell being aged, besides tequila, which is, culturally a type of mezcal, essentially, although they dispute that, but used to be called vino de mezcal de tequila, whatever. Vino mezcal de tequila. Now it's separated itself. I mean, the whole nomenclature for mezcal is totally broken. But, we don't see them improving the way a bourbon or a whiskey would necessarily. Certainly not a brandy. Oh wow, that is just bonkers. That was our fourth one, the second Papalometal, also from Mixteca, and only 60 bottles available of that ridiculous product. Finally, an agave that I have been sort of after. This is Zacatoro from Guerrero, in the town of Tamalac. This is very similar. It's the same plant genetically as Esparine, but a phenotype that's grown in Guerrero, that's endemic to the area, and I've only had it once or twice before, and it's something I really, really like. This is the same stuff that's going into a brand that's now available in New York. I was really excited to see that they were available. They changed the labels for the American market, I was bummed about, called Rayo Seco, which I really, really love. And this is literally, they split the batch with Malate. So, whoa, this is a whole different world. This is super linear. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Isla in the weirdest way, like old aged Isla. Smokiness is more pointed and less barbecuey. Huge saline on the nose. Peppers and exotic fruit, citrus. Oh yeah. Very, very saline, very salty. In the best way possible. Earthy, salty, fruity, warming, just so good. So this is roasted for 3 days, cut by hand with an axe, fermented in plastic tubs, 5 days, natural spring water, double distilled, 200 liters in May of 2020. This is just totally bonkers stuff. There's very little out there. It's high tone. There's some of that like I don't want to say acetone is the wrong word because it makes it sound bad. It's a good thing. There's an acrylic character to it that I really like. Stupid work calls. Later, Big Shanto. Thanks for coming. We've got a big giveaway. So watch the rest. I'll give you to the end of the day to enter. Name of this one is the Sakatoro. That's probably the most unusual of the 4 we've opened so far. From Guerrero. Guerrero is, this is where Acapulco is, but this area is very, on the other side of the state. It's very difficult to do business in this area. And so we don't see a lot of stuff coming out of this part of Guerrero. Just found the Bachuga Tasting Kit and would love to hear more about it. I wish I had pulled it out, but I don't. Chuck, shoot me an email. We can talk about it. There's a lot of good information on their website about what's in there. It's nuts all over the place. Avocados, it's not just meat. There's different flavored things, chocolate, crazy anise, all sorts of stuff. The reason they use the small formats is to give it more accessibility. These are very expensive spirits to make, and these guys are paying their distillers above market rates because they're really trying to support them. And the result is, this would be, $150 if it were in the big bottle. Plus you have the cute little bottles with the little agave on the side. Come on, it looks so cool. And so they're, it makes them more affordable per se, even though by volume it's the same. Guerrero is such a sleeper for Mezcal. You're absolutely right. Whoever said that. Z Villain. Yeah, so much amazing stuff. You're seeing stuff coming out of Malbien right now that's insane. The Malbien black tape stuff is next level. The Sakatoro is awesome. We're excited to get Rayo Seco out here. It's been very hard to do business, but it looks like it's opening up somewhat. I'm not sure why that is. The famous co-op down there, Sansacon, which was only available in Mexico for a long time, is now sort of broken up a bit. And that was supposed to come to the States, but I'm not sure if it is any longer. So yeah, this Sakatoro is, if you're a agave nerd, this is the one you want to jump on. That and maybe the Papillo Metal in leather. But ooh, we have 3 new Resparals coming as well next week. Berta Vasquez, I think an Apollonia, and Abel Martinez. Super, super dope stuff. Resparal is fire. Thank you for noting that. 3 new exclusive Resparals as well. It's going to be a Mezcal Christmas. And the final Mezcal of the day, the one I was really most excited about, this is Augustine Gwendolyn Maya in San Luis Amatlan. This is all Espadín, the most typical. Resparal is a brand. Sorry, that wasn't clear. A brand of mezcal, a small brand run by an American guy who's just really, really involved, doing a lot to sustainable agave practices and all the good stuff. What is the difference between green and black tape? Black tape is for Guerrero. The green tape is for Oaxaca and actually Michoacan on the Malbiens. That's the difference. So where do the high costs come from with mezcal if it's not aged, knowing that they don't have to sit on the stocks for years? Is it the artisanal nature of cultivation? So they don't have to sit on the stocks for years, but they have to wait for decades for the plants to grow. It's not like corn where you can take 2 harvests a year. So, the fastest an agave can grow is 5-6 years, and a lot of the rare plants are going to take 15, 20, sometimes 25 years. So there's a huge amount of that. It's literally back-breaking work. These plants are angry. They do not want to be cultivated. They have lots of ways of making you not want to touch them, and it's slow, dangerous, painful work in a lot of ways. And then add the artisanal practices, and a lot of these distilleries maybe don't have electricity or what have you. We're talking, that said, I mean, for a long time mezcal was undervalued, and it still is in a lot of ways. It's really, you know, only in the last few years that we've been able to get these mezcals because they can command the prices that make sense. A lot of these people don't want to sell. They probably sell it quite cheaply to their neighbors and friends because that's what people can afford. But they don't want to sell everything they have to a bunch of corporations who are going to disappear at that same price. So the good stuff, they charge more. The raw ingredients themselves are very expensive. You know, if you go buy agave on the market, on the open market, the prices have gone through the roof over the last 10 years. Less so in Oaxaca compared to tequila, but still very, very expensive. So that's really what's going on there. So it's about the plant. That's the first thing, and the difficulty to make it work. Of the 4 black tapes you have in stock, what's your favorite? If we still have it, it's the Maduro in Vidro, Madurado in Vidro, the Papalome from Tomas. The Borrego is wonderful. I really like his stuff, although we are getting the Zacatoro coming very soon from Chiro, which, I really like these Zacatoros. They're really pointed and linear and really, really interesting. I like the saltiness that you get on those. And finally, this was the one I was most excited about. This is Esparine. Here's the other side. There is a tradition of aging in mezcal, except not in barrel. So this would have been aged in tank, glass. Usually they'll do like glass jugs, gallon jugs, sometime in plastic. I wasn't able to get the information about exactly how it was aged, but doesn't really matter because you're not really imparting any flavor. What you're doing is the oxygenation is softening the spirit over time. So it's not about adding flavor. It's about changing the flavors in the agave spirit through that process of oxygenation, which happens over the years. So this was distilled 21 years ago. With that in mind, mezcal is alive and it does change. These are super complex chemically, and it does change in bottle and often gets better in bottle, although some agave spirits are better, fresh off the still. Of course, it depends on what you're looking for. If you distill a 25-year-old Tepestate and you get all that super green intensity jalapeno that a lot of people love about Tepestate, if you leave that in glass for 10 years, that's going to soften and you're going to lose some of that. So maybe that's not what you want to do. Maybe if you don't like that as much, then you do want to age Tepestate. So that's sort of the way to look at it. This is aged Espadín, aged in glass or in tank of some kind. And here we're moving to a different level here in terms of complexity, richness. There's more smoke on this actually than I was expecting, because usually we lose some of that. There's definitely a mesquite character. Beautiful, delicate fruit. Floral, but not like lavendery in any way. It's almost like honeysuckle. Some spice behind. Oof. Yeah, just rich and textural, super integrated flavor-wise. It's really hard to pick out certain flavors here. Just, wow. Really, really special. That's at 51. That's the highest proof. All of them, you wouldn't be able to tell by tasting it. Tons of minerality, really long finish, exquisite. I mean, we bought everything that they could give us on this. Wow. It's got power, though. It's still got plenty of power. Espadín is delicious, People kind of look down on it like it's too normal, but Angustifolia makes a really badass mezcal. This was underground roasted for 10 days to Hona press. Mexican cypress fermentation, 4 days without water, 7 days with river water, double distilled copper in March of 430 liters back in March of 1999. Insanity. So special. Oh, I've missed a bunch of comments here. Oh no, not too many. Here we go. So when a spirit is rested, it is being exposed to open air. Not necessarily. Some of them are sealed, but there is always air in the container. So it's not that they're open air, because then they would literally evaporate. There are some I've seen in Oaxaca where they stop the stopper is like gauze, or sometimes with like a dried corn husk with gauze wrapped around it. So there would definitely be some osmotic evaporation of at least a little bit. But no, it's not about the open air. It's about the air inside the container. So no different than aging it in a bottle, really. I think the connection to wine is very evident in terms of these products, having the different agave types and the terroirs and there's so many factors that are so similar. So there you go. Definitely look at the Melates. They're really, really high quality. I also promised you guys some badass single malt. This is the sample of the Glenlivet 80-year from Gordon MacPhail. There is very little out there of this caliber. This is the coolest stuff in the world. This is a cask that was filled in February of 1940. A Glenlivet cask number 340. I mean, listen, it's not going to be long before we see something that's 100 years old here. This doesn't even, this is 44% alcohol. This didn't even need to be bottled. They've been taking care of this one for sure. And comes in a ridiculous, beautiful package. Obviously, it's exquisite. And that's the box. A jewel encased pavilion within a pavilion of oak. A jewel encased within a pavilion of oak. There's the bottle. It's $100,000. Rightfully so. I don't know if you've seen the Yama 55 everybody's going nuts on. That's only 55 years old. From a prominent distillery. That's being sold for $500,000 in Japan right now. So this is a deal, right? Only worth 1/3 of what Corey Seager is going to sign for. Yeah, well, there you go. So, this is a shame. I'm gonna have to get another glass. I had a second glass, and literally in my hand it broke. So, I can't bear to put this in the Mezcal glasses because it's just gonna be outrageous. Well, you guys want to come with me while I do that? Let's do that. We'll go together. Where's my mask? Let's go together. You don't have to stay here. Come with me. Come with me. See the store. See the store. Okay, let's go find the glass. Let's go find a glass. Hey, there's Blake.
Hey there, David.
Hey, buddy. You're on.
I'm live.
You're live. Okay. Ooh. Cabernet tasting. We are getting glassware. It's lunchtime in the break room. That's cool. Glassware done. Ooh, someone opened the linkwood. I'll grab that too. It's a good way. This is fun, huh? Hopefully we'll be doing this in Scotland next time. There's Carlo.
What's up?
That's great. All right. Back to my sequestration area in Champagne. No one's allowed back here. And we've got our glass. Great stuff. So, first I'm going to taste another whiskey because I've got to prime my palate slightly after that outrageous bevy. I think that's the first time I've walked you guys through the store. You saw my order on the Sergio, you got a couple, bud. Come on down. All right. So we've got a number of new signatories, if you guys hadn't noticed. This is a Linkwood. People were very, very excited for this or skeptical, one of the two. I either had, is that really good? Or, I can't wait to taste that. This is a red wine rechar barrel. I couldn't tell if they had scraped it or not. It does have a little bit of a red twinge to it. Linkwood cask number 306240, distilled on May the 18th, 2010, and bottled just after its 11th birthday. Look at that color. Come on. Ooh, big fruity nose. What kind of wine? They didn't tell us. Red wine. I can ask signatory. Wow. Red apples. Big. Rich. Not quite chocolatey notes, but like almost like a hazelnut, like a Nutella nose. Lots of fruit, lots of orchard fruit. That big red apple, cherries. I was worried with these that they'll get sour, but with the char, there's none of that. Oh, wow. Yeah, big, gorgeous, spicy, sweet. Lots going on that Linkwood. Okay, that was a good primer. Now we're moving on to this 80-year-old Glenlivet. There is just nothing out there quite like this. Of course, Gordon MacPhail has had a string of, they call this the Generations series. They've had a string of releases, that would, be considered, they keep besting themselves as the oldest whiskey in the world. So the Glenlivet 80 lists for 110. If someone walked into the store with a briefcase with only 100, definitely not. Tall guy, if you've got 100 G's, it's yours for sure. This is the oldest bottle of, not the oldest bottle of Scotch in the world, but it's the oldest Scotch ever bottled. We're going to taste it right now. Wow, it's obviously viscous, like very rich in texture. You can see it. You can see how it flows. Concentration over 8 decades. And I'm nicely primed after that Mezcal for something super, super special. This is crazy. Andre, you've hit it. Holy moly. Well, this is thick. Double C. Oh my God. So we are, any bets on it, whether it's over oak? Not spitting this out. No, I will not be spitting this out. This is lunch. I cannot get over the fact that how special this is. This is a good, whatever that is. 20 G's worth of, these are 50 ml, so do the math. Times 14, or divide 110 by 14. Holy moly. Do you have Y12 on stocked? What? I don't know what that is. What's Y12? Is that Yama 12? If it's online, it's available. I don't have it in stock in LA. We get all of our Yamazaki up north. I might be dumb. Can you explain the difference between oldest Scotch bottled and the oldest Scotch in the world? So the oldest Scotch in the world would be something that maybe was bottled a long time ago. And this is the oldest that's ever been bottled. Nothing has been bottled past 80 years, meaning it was 80 years in cask. Whereas we do have bottles that were bottled before this was even distilled. So there was Scotch being bottled before then, obviously. And so, we've sold pre-prohibition Scotch here. The proof is 44.9. The nose is nuts, guys. I just don't, I don't even know what to say. It is pure. It is So decadent. It is savory, sweet, spicy. I mean, this is incredible. Yeah, I mean, we get plenty of Yamazaki. I don't know if there's any in right now. It comes and goes quite quickly. This is the closest I'd ever get to tasting an 80-year-old Scotch. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to. The oldest explanation to restrain on showing. So while we're doing this, I had a 52-year-old Carsbridge once. That's pretty good. This is a sherry butt. Yeah, this is a sherry butt, number 350. Fully 80 years in the same cask. No steel, no vat, no nothing like that. Did they say how many bottles came out of it? Yeah, they did, but I didn't note that here. I might say it on the website. Let's see. It was like not a lot. 80 years old, darkest mahogany. I know there were 10 bottles for the United States. I want to say that it was like 100-ish bottles or something like that. 125 bottles, if I remember correctly. Wow. Well, yeah, I can't find that information. Email me if you must know. 10 for the United States. I don't recommend Coke. I'd go Pepsi. Pepsi, Coke Zero maybe for this. Yeah, full in cask. It's all sherry. It's pure sherry. I mean, 250. Andre got it. 250. That's kind of a big cask. Jesus, 250 globally. I mean, gosh, probably could have gone another 10 years. They probably have it. Crystal Pepsi. That's a new one. At least you won't ruin the color. Here we go. Come on. This is nuts. I mean, there's nothing like this in the world. Jesus Christ. This is insane. Okay, yeah, well, if I had $1 billion, I would buy one of these. But if I only had $10 million, I'd probably buy one of these. But if I had $1 million, I probably wouldn't buy one because that would be 10% of my wealth. But anyway, so it goes. Yeah, their Mortlock 75 was the oldest. I am kind of crying, actually. It's really, really crying. I kind of want to cry, but I won't do that here. What might make you guys cry, though, is the bottle that I'm giving away today. And that is my last bottle of Blanton's Straight from the Barrel. Have you heard of that one? It's pretty good stuff. And instead of it was listed at $110,000. But we're giving it a $100,000 and $800 discount. So you get a discount of $100,000 and $800. So it's $200. And that is a 750 ml. Dan, thank you for checking that out. Blanton's is a micro distillery. Yeah, it was founded in 2015 in Texas, and it's okay. So in order to get the bottle, if you'd like the bottle, please tell me the year according to the Buffalo Trace website, so that we don't get our wires crossed, that Al Blanton became the president of the George Stagg Distillery. It's pure potato. It's 100% potato mash. But the TTB missed it, so they listed as bourbon. When is the Fortaleza single barrel dropping? That is an excellent question, El Tapatio. It was supposed to be yesterday. Now it's supposed to be tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry, Tapatito. What a great name. El Tapatito. Yeah, it's supposed to be tomorrow. That stuff is badass. Holy moly. So, we're giving away Blanton's here today. 1 bottle. You must include, do not forget, Andrew, you've jumped the gun, but that's fine. Everybody but Andrew must include in the subject line, wait for it, day drinking with David. Nothing else. Day drinking with David in the subject line. Jason, I guess you don't have to worry about that. But everybody else, Day Drinking with David in the subject line, or your email will be deleted, besides Andrew and Jason. And we're going to leave this up. We're going to leave this up to the end of the day. I know you guys want it to be live, but voila. Because, it is what it is. We open the pot up a little. When does the Glen 80 rank among the best tastes of your life? I mean, it's up there for sure. I'd say, it's up there with things that are also totally unobtainable. Which email? Do the David Gerard at KLWines.com, please. Thank you for checking. It doesn't really matter. Either one is fine. And that's, David Gerard. The whiskey one that mucks up the other people's inbox. So I'll just muck up my own inbox. I'm going to start a new day drinking email one day so that we don't have to deal with this. Brett, you did it right. Great work. Congratulations. You're in. Day Drinking with David in the subject line. Correct answer. It's on the Buffalo Trace website. A simple Google search. Tasting notes on the... No, I'm not giving the tasting notes away, Andre. You must... No, of course. So, it is very sweet. I was thinking it would be astringent and over-oaked as well, just because of the age. This is a very, very rich, sweet malt, extremely well balanced. And what you have, I think here, which is really interesting, they tell you exactly what was in the barrel before it had sherry in it. So this barrel was used first to, well, I think they used to do this, I don't know if they still do it, to remove the tannin. This would have been European oak, I assume. And the tannin is removed by first aging or storing fresh grape must in it, and then freshly fortified sherry before it gets sort of graduated into a Solera where it would age for, so this tree would have been, cut down 200 plus years ago. And yeah, insane. How do you think you manage 80 years? Tight barrels, super used? So I think what's going on with them is because they don't they don't put everything in dunnage warehouses, so they have some slightly drier they have some slightly drier warehouses. You tend to have their proofs stay up in those warehouses. Again, I can't say for sure, but I think they probably have been, keeping an eye on this. So maybe that means, moving it to the driest part of the warehouse or what have you to prevent the evaporation. And, I'll tell you a little bit of what I smell. I mean, like Iberico ham, fig jam, the fanciest things. I mean, super fancy leather. Can you smell gold? I don't think it has a smell. Lots of lacquer box. It's not super savory, but there is definitely some of gorgeous stewed fruits. On the palate, it's got like coconutty in it, like this really obvious coconut character. It's super rich. It's very sweet. And on the back palate, I mean, this coconut thing is really bold. Almost like a freaking pina colada. Well worth it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a luxury product. It's not, not gonna be for everybody. I have one. Okay, I have to go see a patient later, fellas. Thanks for coming by. Hart Brothers 17-year blended sherry to prop up my phone. Bottle is both delicious and practical. That's a good bottle. That's only $60. Hermes bag, you got it. Yeah, yep. It's a Birkin. It reminds me of... I mean, you know, it's in the range with the super old Macallans I've had, for sure. You know, some of those 50-plus-year-old Laliki Macallans, although doesn't have maybe as much, you know, those had a little bit more peat to them. Can you repeat the question for the bottle? Start or end? The start of the presidency, Alex. The start of Albert B. Blanton's presidency at the Stag Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky. The old OFC, which we now call today Buffalo Trace. Yeah, this stuff is really good. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. I think we've all had enough of this. Unless there are some questions. I know there's a lot coming, a lot going, a lot happening. So now is question time. If there are any last minute requests. Interesting to hear that you actually taste good. Always thought these ultra priced whiskeys were mostly collector's items. Shelf queens. That's a term I've not heard before. Yeah, it is really, really good. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that it's I'm glad to find out that it's really good too. I mean, you know, it better be goddamn good. You know, that's not always the case with these. I mean, these super high end things. But what's up with the bookish price inflation? That's a great question, Etienne. They raised our price, so we had to raise ours. They raised our price pretty significantly, $13 or $14. Yeah, there you go. Voila, we're now into a new level. Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, I guess when they sell out of everything in a second, that's what happens. It's weird because, you know, Beam was, you know, very, very good about the pricing thing for so long, and I can't tell if it's them. You know what really frustrated me is that they put an MSRP out in the world, which basically was just a few bucks above our cost. So that was annoying. So maybe it wasn't Beam. Maybe it was the supplier. Maybe it was the distributor, which, you know, that's their prerogative. Just like it's any store's choice to sell it higher. I mean, I think Jim Beam would have something to say about that, but maybe not. So that was a bummer. But voila, $100 for a bottle of Booker's. It was $60 just a couple years ago. That's double. That's that's some serious inflation. Okay, Ivan is in. Good work, Ivan. This is really, really good, guys. Any other questions before I go enjoy this by myself? I should buy one of these guys. Come on. Let me know. Anybody who's watching today gets a $10,000 discount. Not as good as that Blanton's discount, but close. There's a lot going on here. Oh. Coconut. So much coconut. All right, guys. I guess that's it. Or maybe I'm missing... Oh, God. No, I'm missing all this stuff. Ben Romack versus this. Ben Romack's much, much bigger and spicier and harder core. Sierra Negra. Need more Sierra Negra from Cinco Sentidos. I agree with that. You're right. We do. When will you raffle the Blantons? It's happening right now. I mean, before the next session, next week. We're tasting with the Basil Rep, the Toasted. We'll do something fun then. Tasting notes on the signatories coming. Yes, I'm just opening them. I'll have tasting notes on the signatories. I couldn't get to the new Hart Brothers this week. So next week we'll have signatories. I'm going to spend my entire Tuesday tasting and reviewing signatory and Hart Brothers. Pre-arrival signatories are in. Those are probably more important, but whatever. Booker's new MSRP is $90. They stated at $90, but I can't make my normal margin at $90. So yeah, you know, so it's $100 now. I don't know who stated that, but that was what was on the sheet with with the sales sheet. So voila. So we're above MSRP on Booker's. It's horrible, but you know, I can't give it away. I mean, geez, what do they want me to do? They just raise the MSRP, then we can make the same amount we did last time with the tag along. But apparently that's not a thing. Thinking about the Harris gin. Hope it's not too sweet. Big Shanto, it's not too sweet. It's not sweetened at all. It has some sweet character. It's got great richness. It's not very sweet. Any Mezcal K&L specific picks coming through? Mateo, you need to start over at the beginning of this video. We had 6 incredible ones. The Malate, boom. The Papalo Metal in leather, incredible. The Espadine, distilled in 1999. Come on. Why is this still? This should be sold out. You guys are crazy. Bye. Sakatoro from Guerrero, ultra rare expression. Love it. Missed those 15-year-old KC picks. They were damn good. So are the 10-year-olds that are on the shelf right now. What's your favorite peated whiskey that you have in the store right now? That's a complicated question. My favorite peated whiskey that I have in the store right now, the Signatory Stoisha. Yes, if you're gonna go big, go real big. There you go. Yeah, sounds like there's some weird wires being crossed, just like the little book last year. Yeah, I can't explain the Booker's thing. I don't know what to say. Normally go for whiskeys, but these sessions help me explore. Yay, Andre. Yes, please look into Mezcal. It is the future. It is my future. I want to be drinking Mezcal all the time. And Glenlivet 80 year. Y'all getting more Malbien anytime soon? There is the Sakatoro from Malbien coming. I don't have any specific batches. The other stuff is out of stock. So yes, as soon as it's back, we will have it. What's the American High Peat Single Malt for $15 coming up? Big Shanto? That must be a NorCal thing. I haven't seen that. Yes, Dodgers in 6. Thank you. I'll go back and watch. Cheers. Yeah, lots of really good Mezcal right now. And not only do we have these guys, next week we're going to have 3 new Respiral exclusives. Do you know how does the Fonvier compare to the recent Domaine de Barillon? The Fonvier 35 is super different from these Barillons. Fonvier is ultra elegant and soft and round and very classically styled. You know, the Barillons are big and spicy and in-your-face style. Glen Oak Classic Lottie or a different take seems like low for... I think... that's the Glen Oak is like an 80 proof no-name Brooklotti. Yeah, it's pretty good for the price, I think. That was a NorCal buy. The only only complaint is 80 proof, but at that price it's hard to argue with. Don't ask about Russell's pick. I've literally called the guy once a week for the last 4 weeks, and he has yet to call me back. So, voila. Love him, though. Love you guys. Campari, you're the best. Never change. Okay. That's, any last minute things? This has been really fun, guys. I'm going to enjoy my Glenlivet. I'm going to go finish up my day. Maybe do some agave tasting. Agave notes, reviews. I think this is good. Oh, I have a weird typo on my bottle of Barillon. That's fun. I love it. I missed the Blanton store pick. Any of the other Blantons BT picks from the summer on the horizon? Brett, yes, they are all on the horizon. Whether they make it or not, I have no idea. They told me November. NorCal, I think, I'm not sure. I think they did distillers picks to make sure they got them in time. I insisted on tasting mine, which you saw here, I think. Did we do that? Or maybe I just talked about them here. In any case, they should be coming. Stag, I think there's a Weller. Those Eagle Rares are really, really good. Have you tried the new knob pick? Yes, I did. It's awesome. I love it. I'm not gonna... The last one sold out in like a day, so I'm not even gonna bother. They're just really good. I don't know what to say. If you need notes, I can forward them to you. Send me an email. I'm happy to taste, to give you a thing, but it's not a priority, fortunately. Michael, you're in. Day drinking with David. Yes, the Knob Creek is great. You know what's great is that High West Carcavelos. Nobody's talking about that. Some Baker's Picks are showing up and down California. We apparently got a Baker's Pick in NorCal. Is the Inchgauer going to be in Hollywood, or did I miss it already? There's tons of Inchgauer. Don't worry about that. The Inchgauer, are you talking about the 22? Should be back. Have you tried the Redwood Grizzly? No, I didn't get to taste it. They just sold it to me. And it sold out very quickly. NorCal got another drop, so there should be some for a little bit. Yeah, Knob Creek single barrels still good, even though they're not 15-year. High West sold out? Are you kidding, Chris? No, there's more. There's going to be more. That's insane. I had 45 cases. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't put it past you guys, but... You like the Pinot de Chiron? That was an interesting one. Yeah, the Carcavelos is very interesting as well. Highly recommend. Mezcal took over my life. Thanks, David, for always getting the great stuff at the store. Thank you. Me too. I drink more Mezcal than anything else, I think. Is the Fortaleza, besides wine, of course, Fortaleza single barrel a K&L pick? Yes. Yes, it is a K&L pick. It should be here tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, it'll be next Wednesday, which is annoying. High West popped up early this morning. Can't wait to try it. Grab it. It's really good. Oh my God. This is nuts. Need the Forta single barrel. Honestly, you really do. Yeah, if you're gonna camp on the site for anything this year, that's the one. It is so good. I'll hold some back for this. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. It was a nice big barrel. It's 240 bottles, so it should be around for a little bit. Mezcal also runs my life. What's coming from Esparine? We have an ensemble from Berta Vasquez. We have Madre Quiche from Apollonia, I think, and something Espadine blend up. I think it's like Espadine Tobazic from Abel Martinez. Are you going to order I'm going to order a bottle of aged Espadine. It will be the first bottle of aged Mezcal in my collection. Cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah. It's really interesting stuff. I think you'll really appreciate it. We might still have that Papillome from Tomas if you want to add another one. That is exquisite. 7 years in glass there. What are you sipping? I just hopped on. Oh, John, that's just the Glenlivet 80 year. Yeah, that's all it is. No big deal. I'll just show you that one more time. Have one of those, okay? It's only 110,000, but for you, John, I'll give you a $10,000 discount. I appreciate that. I think you'll dig it. Yeah, this is really good. As I said, if I had $1 billion, I would buy one. If I had $100 million, I would definitely buy one. If I had $10 million, I'd consider buying one. But, we'll see. John's in. Hell yeah, we sold a bottle. You right there? Great. Split it with the club. It is really good. It is really good. No Yama 55 for $500,000 in Japan. Yeah, I'm not going to buy a bottle. My wife would not be happy with that. I don't think I have the credit limit. I don't even think I put it on across 10 credit cards. Although I did try to buy a bottle of Yama 55 that was listed in New York at $85,000. Sold out, apparently. Voila. But, so it goes. We did not get a Yama 55, which is disappointing. And so it goes. It's a lot of airline miles. Yep, I'm going to buy a Harrier jet with my Pepsi points. Right, guys. I think that's that's it. Everybody's answered all their questions. Blantons, email me. Just give a oh yeah, okay. Great. I'm not going to put that out there. A Homer bowling ball gift. Yes, great. Yeah, I don't think my wife does enjoy Scotch, but there's no expense account here at K&L. I'm allowed to open certain things, but this was a generous gift from my dear friends at Gordon MacPhail. And I'm looking forward to it. All right. Yeah, Dodgers better step it up tonight. I was invited to the game, but I can't go. Isn't that terrible? That's awful. It's terrible. So it goes. We'll just watch the game. It'll be fine. At least they put them on TV these days. So, voila. Let's hang out next week. We'll be back with what is it? Basil Hayden Toasted Barrel next week. That'll be fun. All right, guys. Thanks for coming by. Cheers.